understand a lot of black men feel like, I'm not where I want to be. I got made fun of or whatever else the case may be. And some guys go in the manosphere are actively in different countries. Colombia, you have some brothers here, and even in Africa. I've even had guys who are, PhDs and or at least doctors. What's this guy's name? He was telling me about it. But he was telling me he has friends that have PhDs that are married to Ghanaian women now. Because they see things a little bit different. But I just want to say this. No, in my honest opinion, people really cannot respect you if you are a black man coming from your community and you are not able to monetize your own people and you cannot really deal with your women and another group accepts you. There's a lack of respect you got to have for that sort of person. They may not say it, but you would have to. It's almost like, if you ever talk to an immigrant and they come to America talking shit about black people, what is our first thought? Well, why didn't you do that where you were at? And people have to think that, like, what is he doing with my daughter? Is there something wrong with his people? Why don't his people like him? You have to think about that. And the reality is that a lot of black men have, somewhat of a disdain from where they may have come up or opportunities given to them. But ultimately, everybody who gets respect in the world, usually, especially on the local level, it's our job to monetize our own people. Mm-hmm. People don't gotta like you, but they gotta respect you. When you have your men that, and I'm not saying this for all the cases, because obviously proximity happens. If you go to PWI University and whoever you may meet, we understand those things happen. But ultimately, successful black men and smart people everywhere rule and dominate. That's all you should be worried about. And I think a lot of guys think that it's different for us because it's not. If you come in and you're a man that you push your agenda and you're doing things for your community, like I watch YouTube videos all the time. How do you build the local economies and what do you do? What are the steps you take? It's just simple as that, because I think a lot of people think that you're going to get some kind of respect from someplace else, and it's just not there. I've lived in Poland. I've seen these guys, that come from Nigeria and Zimbabwe, and they're married to Polish people, and the things they say about them. Some people may be cool with them, but ultimately, it's like you're not supposed to be here. What are you doing with our daughter? Mm-hmm. And when they have kids, well, then we all know what happens. I had a buddy where was making a little monkey song about her. He has biracial kids. I'm not saying it happens all the time, but then you're going to face that by some people because these children are different. They're not white. Yeah. So ultimately, what I would tell black men, and a lot of brothers have a certain disdain for the black community. That's the only community that you have. It's up to you to work with your people, and that's the same thing. Even if I was not in here, I'd be in America. And some women gonna like it. Some people not ever gonna like you, regardless.
Yeah, that's true.
That's paramount to understand. These femicide people and all sort of stuff. I think a lot of times as black men in the manosphere, we engage people who should never be talked to in the first place. If they're not in that level of understanding, then why are we talking to you? It don't make no sense. But now there are those women in the middle, in the black community, that's looking for a black man. And there's people black men that want to do business with you, that want to work with you. Then you deal with who you can deal with and leave all the excuses on the side. Because I in the black manosphere community, working with black men has changed my life. Working with black people, where I don't have to get up and punch the clock for nobody. Now the white man would never gave me that, but my people gave me that. My people retired me, where I could pay my tuition off as a medical student if I decided to do that. Black folks gave me that opportunity. Nobody else gave me that, but black folks did. So then you mean to tell me that I'm gonna, like my community don't accept me? If you're good, and I know I'm being long with it. Black business, the same problem with black businesses. Black businesses don't want to put in the work. They don't want to upgrade their equipment and complain about nobody wants to support them. You heard of Slutty Vegan in Atlanta? Always sold out. What's that one place in the Turkey Leg Hut in Houston? If you have, always sold out. Just because you're a black man, you got to bring value in all aspects. You got to be a man. You got to be confident, obviously. You got to stand on your boundaries. And if people don't respect you, then you get rid of them and find somebody who do respect you. It's the same thing you do when you go to the white community. Why are you complaining about this one? People are going to be the people that's going to, the same rules going to apply wherever you go. Here in Africa and Poland and the United States. Are you somebody that contributes to society? Are you a man worth being with? And do you make women respect you? If the answer is yes, 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 then we're not complaining about, oh, okay, well, they don't celebrate me. Mm-hmm. People celebrate people who do what they're supposed to do and be where you're supposed to be at.
Okay, so you're saying that in your opinion, men in general, Black men in general, who really are bringing value, they're not complaining about not being celebrated, because wherever they go, their actions, their what they produce is going to speak for itself.
That is correct. I believe, because think about this. Black men who are very successful, they may date white women, they may date Asian women, they may date Hispanic women. If they're at the top tier, whatever race those women are, they're very good looking, they're very well educated. Look at Jesse Williams, for example. Mm-hmm. Jesse Williams' current girlfriend and his ex-wife, both of them were highly educated women, highly skilled women. Two of them Black and one of them was white. Guys are going to deal with the same quality of people regardless of the race. So the higher up that you get, those problems, oh, you're a loudmouth, oh, you're a single mom, oh, you got tattoos, like, that's not even a conversation for guys who are doing well. We're not complaining about those things. The guys that I know, it's like, oh, well, she came in here and she had on those Roman tie-up sandals. What are you talking about? What is that even like? That might be a lot of brothers' conversations, but as brothers start to move up, you don't talk about those things anymore. It's not even wild. Mm-hmm. And like shout out to George Mick, he used to say, you know what, bro, you talk about a lot of things that guys go through, but you don't even experience those things yourself. And I don't. A lot of successful Black men don't have those conversations as they keep on the road to where they're going. And that's the most important thing. If you're a Black man going on the road that you're trying to get to, a lot of sidebar conversations that we're having about, baby mamas and the weave rings and sandals and stuff like that, you don't have to even deal with none of them. They're where are they at? Okay, we're not even living over there with them. No way. That's nice. They can do whatever you want to do over there.
Interesting. And you know what? And I think that also ties into what you said earlier, where, Black women aren't putting themselves in the positions. The ones that are understanding to put themselves in the position around those particular men are going to be the women that those men want, because they understand that. So I think it all ties in together. So I hear you.
Yeah. And I wonder, so what you're saying, and I wonder if this goes back to kind of what we mentioned earlier about class and about how, anytime you start putting yourself in better environments, right, that have, more wealth, more access to just better things, period. You'll see a decrease in a lot of things, right? Violence, homicide, all the essential riffraff and some of the behavior associated with that. When you start to move in better environments. And so I wonder if what you're speaking of kind of comes back to class, for lack of a better term, or socioeconomic mobility. Well, look,
I believe that definitely is a real major factor. Mm-hmm. But the thing about it is, for a lot of African American men who want to be, a lot of conversations that we have in the Black community, they tend to be sidebar conversations about what we're trying to achieve.
Okay.
And the reality is, a lot of Black people are focused on what they don't want instead of what they're trying to achieve. And the reality is that if you are a man, and no disrespect to Black women, you have a longer span to get it right.
That's
like
true.
Look at Rick, like Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, when I met him, he's 47 years old. People were talking about, well, before that time, what was he doing? The reality is does it matter right now? It doesn't matter. Because what we're dealing with right now is he's on right now. He's successful as hell right now. Okay? Even the football, Los Angeles Rams. 10 years ago, the Rams was trash. What are we talking about? They're Super Bowl champions, right? Because right now they're good. And that's the situation that we're dealing with. A lot of men need to just worry about their progression of what they're trying to achieve and what those goals are. And then as you do that, these other things and situations and one that you don't like and don't want, that solves itself. Mm-hmm. And as far as wanting praise for somebody, and again I gotta go back to this. Well, black women don't appreciate some builders. I would say this for the women that don't need to be with you, don't appreciate it. And I know I can't curse, so I won't. So F them. If you don't appreciate what I bring, what I can do, then I don't need to talk to you no way. What do we have a conversation for?
That's true.
Then you need to be over here. The people that need, and the more talented you are, and the more hardworking you are, the less people are going to be around you anyway. So they're not supposed to understand it. Most people are going to be stuck on foolishness. I don't care how good they look, because they're foolish. So you got to let them do what God called them to do, or what God allowed the devil to trick them to do, which is to be stupid. And once you get that, and that everybody not for you, then you understand that. But the people who's supposed to be around you going to notice who you are. Mm-hmm. And that's what you should be worried about. Not these other things. The 95% of the women that got with these big old booties over here doing Pookie and Ray Ray. It's fun to talk about, but she wasn't supposed to be for you anyway. She's not gonna understand your work, your lifestyle anyway. So she ain't supposed to be there.
Right. Very, very, very interesting. No, and like I said,
Herman. Come on, Pastor. Jackson, baby.
No, she wasn't supposed to be there. Context. We have to bring valuable situations to black women in our black community and for kids. And when those integration, doing things for the whites, and I know it, we're in a country that's highly integrated with everybody, but at the situation, the black dollar stays in the black community for six hours. Okay. If you marry a black woman and she has a child, she has to go to the white man for the kid to get a summer job. You see, all that is about integration. And the reason a lot of times why a lot of sisters have such a hatred for black men is because we don't have things for them. You see, for the average guys, we don't have a lot of connections or things that our women can take advantage of, or our kids can take advantage of, or stuff that benefits them. Not even supporting our own HBCUs. We kind of don't have that idea that, okay, it's not that good right now, but we can kind of build it up over time. We don't think like that. We're a microwave generation. So when black women look at that, the more they integrate, the more they're gonna have a lack of trust for you. So even though you're in the United States, it is still black men's responsibility and black women to understand that you have to do things for your people on top of that you do. Because the more you integrate in society, the more that you're going to be on the decline. They're never going to set things up for your kids. They're never going to set things up for your people. Your own HBCUs, we don't even support. And I just told myself, I was talking to my mom today, I used to get to the Negro College Fund. I remember what was the guy that used to, the dude that used to be singing all the time?
Bobby Jones.
No, not Bobby Jones Gospel. I'm talking about, who was the brother that used to always have the telethons back in the 80s for the Negro College Fund? He died. But my mom used to always call in and they would pledge in the 80s back when it was a telethon.
It'd be all night.
Somebody give me the name who the guy was. Was it Lou Ross? No, was it Lou Ross? Was it him? Lou Ross. Okay, yeah. Hey. So, but we gotta get back to those things. And unfortunately, if your community is sucks, but it's yours, So that's what I think.
So you're saying that, in your opinion, the reason that, one main reason that black women don't respect black men is because black men haven't built anything.
I won't say that they haven't built anything. That's not true. It's relative. So let me say this real quick, okay? Let me kind of give you an example. In the 1800s, you had a country called Liberia. Now, in comparisons to Liberia, but in an ethno state such as that, well, black men are the ones developing that particular place to something good. So then the women there are seeing that in comparisons to, let's say, these guys in Nimba or the Kron tribe. These guys are doing a better job than them. But when you're a black man and you're competing against the guys who enslaved you, that's a little bit different, because Morehouse College started in a Baptist basement. church basement. Now, in comparison to what it is it the same as Harvard University? Like, that's what I'm talking about. So, a lot of times, Black men, we built things and done things, but again, Black women can always come back and compare it against, okay, here, these are the other guys doing, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, the less that Black women have to integrate, the better it is. And this is the reason why Black men have to come in and try to do things in economies. I see guys all the time when I come in from Qatar Airways, you come into, Uganda, you come into Rwanda. Who do you see? You see these Chinese guys coming over here to Africa to get opportunities to take care of their women. You see the Lebanese doing to take care of them. I never see no African-American guys coming in and talking about, yo, it's 15 of us. We setting up in Africa. We about to make a big honey processing farm because we want to expand our reach to help our community in East Baltimore. You don't see that. And it's hard to keep that kind of respect for a group of men who don't think like that. A lot of Black men gotta get out and conquer and go out and make other opportunities for the communities that you serve to do things for your people. And that's just the reality. So that, that's why the Chinese Americans, they don't have to integrate as much, because look at where their guys are at. Look at what they're doing. I'm on the plane with them all the time. So there needs to be a lot more tenacity coming from these African American men in their endeavors in conquering their own economies and their own people, to provide opportunities for their people.